Hello my friends, welcome back to Keto in the Chaos. My name is Tammy, and on this channel I like to share all my tips and tricks on how I lost 207 pounds without surgery and how you can be successful on your own weight loss journey. So if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started. Hello everyone and welcome back to Keto in the Chaos. Again, my name is Tammy and I began my ketogenic journey on January 1st, 2017. I have lost 207 pounds in the last almost 4 years, and it has been quite an amazing ride. First of all, let me apologize for my video update being late. It was my very youngest baby's 5th birthday yesterday. I cannot even believe I no longer have any little ones anymore. He still looks little to me, but he thinks he's pretty big boy. So he is the youngest of 9 children. Yes, I have 9 children. I know I'm a glutton for punishment, but I spent the day with him yesterday and I didn't finish my update. So I am just getting started on it today, and I hope that you guys can understand that sometimes life gets a little chaotic and you have to go with the flow. So anyway, I am here today. This is my week 15 reverse diet update. If you are new to my channel and new to reverse dieting, there is a whole entire playlist up in the playlist bar above. I have lots of playlists on all kinds of subjects, but there is a whole playlist on the reverse diet and why I chose to do it and all my thought process through it and how I've gotten to where I've got. So if you're interested in all the nitty-gritty details, definitely go start at the beginning and check that out. But if you just want a little bit of a rundown, basically what a reverse diet is when you raise your calories a little bit at a time in order to get your metabolism to burn more calories. I started out at bargain basement, 1,300 calories, because that's what I was using to lose weight. And I have slowly eked my calories up over the last 15 weeks till this last week I was doing an average of 1,860 calories per day. So what I do now that I'm to this point is I go by what my weight does. Now, my weight does not always cooperate with exactly what I'm doing, and so sometimes it's not the best barometer, but it's the only barometer that I really have that I can use in order to determine if my calories are doing good for me or not. And so I have to use the tools that I have, and the scale is the tool that I have. There are probably other ways I could do it, but for me, the ease of it all, I am just going to go ahead and count on my weights for the week, being my judgment about whether or not I get to move my calories up. So what I do is I write down all of my weights for every day of the week, add them all up and divide them by 7, and that is my median weight, my middle weight, my average weight, whatever you want to call it, for the week. If the average weight for the week goes up, then I hold my calories where they are. If my average weight for the week stays the same, then I raise my calories by 25 per day. And if my weights go down, my average weight goes down, I raise my calories by 50 per day. It's just luck of the draw what happens to me for next week. And anyway, so that's what this video is about. I'm going to talk about how this last week went, show you all my weights for the week, talk about my average weight, talk about my plans for next week. And that is all going to be in this video. First off, though, I do want to talk about my exercise accountability. I'm not a super active person. I really would like to be, and that is something that I am working on, changing, shifting my mental focus to becoming a more active person. But actually, I remember way back, way when I first started this diet, I was really afraid that if I became skinny, that I would have to be an active person. And that was actually one of the things that almost prevented me from doing this, from losing weight, because I just don't want to be that person. I am not an working out, doing all the cardio, enjoying it kind of girl. I've always been more relaxed, sedentary kind of person, which, combined with an overeating issue, obviously it did not work out that great for me. So I've dealt with the overeating issue. I feel like I have basically overcome most of the challenges when it comes to what I eat. But when it comes to exercise, I still am hitting major roadblocks. So I like to put a little segment in here, which I have my exercise accountability to you guys. There's not a heck of a lot of it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put all the clips in for you so that you can enjoy at my expense or whatever. You can see what I'm able to do in my busy, crazy life with my 9 kids, homeschooling, running a photography business, going to the dance studio, being a dance mom, running 2 YouTube channels, actually 3 now because my daughter has one, and just trying to keep it all together. If that sounds like a lot, well, it is. Let's get to the exercise. Morning. Don't let the sun on my face fool you. It is 34 degrees out here, but it's chicken bucket workout Sunday. I didn't do it yesterday and I really should have, and so I got to get it done.
So this is a little awkward, but I care about you a lot, and I think that this is the best decision for me.
I think I should probably do that a little differently. I don't know. For the video, it works really well. But for me, I feel like I don't get enough rest between sets, and so I can't really push too hard on the first set, or else I wouldn't be able to do a second set. But maybe if I did harder on the first set, it wouldn't matter if I couldn't do a second set. I could just do one freaking set. I don't know. I can't get it any heavier, and it's pretty dang heavy. I can only lift the thing. Probably if I kept going, I might be able to do 20 reps, but I don't know if I could come back and do another set. So, whatever. It is what it is. Maybe next time I will start, like, if it's not freezing out here, which it probably will be, but maybe start like lapping my yard or something and giving myself a minute rest between sets and trying to get them more reps the first one and then let them die off. I don't know. I know nothing about this stuff. That's just kind of where my head is at. I feel like I'm stuck. I'm not getting any better. I'm not doing it any better. It still hurts when I'm doing it. So, okay. Whatever. At least I'm doing it. Right, guys? 32 degrees, and they're out of chicken feed. It's Friday, so chicken bucket workout time. They didn't go through the feed as fast this quick. Usually I do like Saturday and Wednesday, and I think this time it's Sunday and Friday. I don't know, whatever, but it's time. Well, I changed it up a little. I added more reps in the beginning so that I could try and get a little harder workout for the first one. Then I added the wall push-ups, but they don't really work so good on this can. I don't know if it's working the right muscles, but I do those wall push-ups. I did it to remind myself to tell you that I've been doing wall push-ups pretty much like 3 to 4 times a week in my bathroom at night, and so I don't really record it because I'm like in my PJs and stuff. So I wanted to remember to say that. I'm trying to work on all my muscles. I've also been doing lifts from behind with my pink 15-pound kettlebell that people have brought me, and I keep meaning to put it out here so I can use it, but you know what, it'll be so cold, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna keep doing it in my room and not filming it. So yeah, that's what's not on this video. So anyway, back to feeding the chickens. I got stuff to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I added those little push-ups there in the freezing cold, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. I've been doing those actually in the house, so there's some exercise that I don't always film. So far, so good. I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed. And one thing about the reverse diet is now that I am getting to maybe possibly a calorie surplus area. I mean, not quite there yet maybe, but I can use that calorie surplus to build more muscle. So I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of that and not letting it just all turn to fat, though I am expecting some body fat gain during this process. Don't get me wrong, I definitely am nervous about that, but I don't foresee me making it any further than this unless I just stop here and be done without putting on some body fat in this process. And it's part of the process, and it's a great part of the process. You get to enjoy what you eat, you get to try new things, and you get to have some weight gain and not stress over it. It's kind of a nice thing. It's a mental shift that you have to make in order to be able to fully get into and absorb the reverse diet process. And it's definitely been a science experiment for me. I've been having a good time. But I must say, this week it's been a little harder for me to be like the macros stickler. There have been 2 times this week that I have just felt like I want to take a bite of this, I want to take a bite of that. I just want to just not have to worry about tracking every friggity frackin' thing. And there was even one moment where I gave in and I ate half a Built Bar that my daughter was refusing to eat, which annoyed me because I love them. And I ate it, and I wasn't going to track it. I was just like, it's not a big deal, just a few calories. And then I was just like, nope. And I went back because I hadn't eaten dinner yet. So I went back into my tracker. I added it in, and then I adjusted dinner accordingly so that I would have my good data, because I do want my data to be as accurate as possible, for my sake and for yours, so that when I can really know for sure when I hit that maintenance wall where I want to stick. I really want to know what I'm eating in order to get those calories, and I want it to be accurate and honest. Because, like if I was taking bites here and there and I was saying that I was eating 1785 calories per day, but in actuality I was eating more like 1850, that's a big deal, right? That could change things in how I determine what happens in the future. So that all being said, I feel like I did okay this week. I had a kind of a rough week emotionally. It was my period week. I don't know if that had to do with it. I had a couple of pretty down days. And actually yesterday when it was my son's birthday and I was supposed to be making my video for you guys, I was a freaking mess. I've been having issues with sleep and I feel like I've worked on them so hard and I was finally getting somewhere. And then all of a sudden, Dave just started snoring. And he's never been a big snoring person. And then all of a sudden, it's like, that's his new thing. And I can't sleep. It was so bad yesterday. When I woke up, I just started crying because I was like, I just feel like I didn't get any sleep. But then last night, I got the same amount of sleep according to Fitbit, same Fitbit sleep score, and I feel totally good and fine today. So it might have been something else. It might have been a depression because it said I got good sleep even though I didn't feel like I had. And maybe it's just a mental thing. I don't know, but I did have a rough day yesterday. Now, because I had a rough day, you would think that I would have a difficult time with my calories and my foods, but I did not. I stuck to them. I didn't eat extra stuff. I didn't even feel like I was antsy for extra stuff. I was more hungry. I noticed that when I feel tired or depressed, I do actually feel more hunger cues. And I tried really hard to eat the meals that I planned when I had those hunger cues versus trying to push them off because I would really that's the last thing I need to fix, right? I've fixed the overeating. I've fixed the carb addiction. I've fixed the using foods for stress eating and all of those things. I've fixed all of those things, or at least conquered them to the point where I feel like I'm in control of all of those things. Now, obviously, I know that I could easily backslide and everything could go to crap. You never know. But for right now, I feel like I've got a handle on those things. But the very last thing that I have to get a handle on is eating more intuitively and more in tune with my body. So when I first started this process and when I coach people through this process, I always tell them to not trust their bodies because they haven't been doing the right things. And that means their bodies are kind of like over in left field when it comes to knowing what it needs, right? So I always tell my clients at the very beginning and people that I'm helping on Facebook to don't listen to your body, eat this stuff, tell it your body what it needs, etc., etc. But I don't want that to be the way it is forever and ever. So my last thing that I need to conquer is figuring out how to intuitively eat, to diet more flexibly. Is that a flexible dieting? Is that what it's saying? I've always wanted to do flexible dieting, but I didn't trust myself with carbs. Now I have trusted myself with carbs. I'd like to get to a place where I'm a little bit more mentally and physically able to do those things that I was kind of nervous to try because I've tried a lot of things and so far they've worked. I'm like so happy about that. And everything is really falling into place with those. So I'm thinking those things are the next things that I'm working on. So we'll see. So part of that is getting out of intermittent fasting, listening to my body's cues, trying to put my meals that I've planned into the times that I'm actually hungry, which by the way, I am hungry right now. And so I'm kind of like, how long is this going to take? Because I need to go and make my third meal of the day. So anyway, let's get to the weights because that's what you're all here for. We'll get those out of the way. You can see how things went and then we'll come back and talk about it. So there you go. If you've been here for a few days, you can probably imagine my feelings surrounding the scale this week were not ideal. Also coupled with the fact that I was on my period and having depression issues, the scale did not help in any way. I don't know that it really contributed to that, but it definitely did not help. Now, obviously, I'm not like going up and up. I've been higher than that, these weights, on my reverse diet several times. But, okay, so here's the thing. When I added carbs back in, I really thought that I'd gotten my electrolyte issues under control and that I wasn't going to have any more of these crazy water weight gains and drops. That didn't end up being the case because I apparently had a whole time where I didn't have a cycle at all. And so I never had my hormonal triggers that make me gain water weight. So then this cycle I did. And it went up and it came down. It's supposed to still be down. And so this was not supposed to be a water weight gain week. I did do one thing different and weird, and I don't really like to blame foods when it comes to water weight because there are so many factors that come into play. And we all know there are no, well, I believe there are no good and bad foods. Foods do not have morality, right? They don't have control over you. You have control over the food. It's just a form of energy, and that's all it is. But I decided that I was going to try for my sleep. Earlier this week, the very beginning of the week, I decided I was going to try melatonin. And I just, on a whim, because I am doing the carbs, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get the gummies because it's easier. I can just keep them on my bedside table. That way I don't have to have water or anything to take them. I can just eat them and call it good. And so I did that for 3 or 4 days. And I actually got so tired. I know I mentioned it to you guys. I got so tired during the day that I thought I had COVID. Like, I was seriously considering the fact that I could possibly have COVID because of how tired I was. Also, then, of course, there was a water weight spike, as you guys saw, on the scale. So in order to see if it was those, I stopped taking them. So I only took them, I think, 4 nights, and then I didn't take them for the other 4. The tiredness went away. So obviously, it didn't help me with my sleep. It made my day miserable during the day. And the scale did kind of come back down. So possibly that could have been the trigger for the water weight gain. Needless to say, I won't be doing melatonin anymore. And I definitely am not going to be doing the gummies. I didn't overeat them or anything or like start craving them. It didn't do anything weird to me that way. But yeah, I just couldn't even function. And I think that was part of the problem, that I was having depression and being super tired was those things. So that could have attributed also to the weird weights on the scale, but whatever. I will say the scale went down again today and I'm back to where I started. So darn it, I wish I could have done that yesterday so that I could have counted that into my averages, but I honestly don't think it would have made enough difference to matter. So weights for this week were, you saw, 170.2, 173, 174.6, 174. So I was like, when I saw that 174.6, that was like the 3rd melatonin day or something. And I was so miserable when I woke up and I saw that and I think I just burst into tears. I was just like, what? I'm not eating anything. Yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? I was a mess earlier in the week. And then 174, it started coming back down, 171.6. And I was like, phew. And then 172.6, and I was like, don't you dare. And then 170, yay. And then today it was back to 169.6, so that's not in my thing because today is now Sunday, and that goes into next week's video. So my median weight for the week was 172.3, which is up 2.6 pounds, which is up from not just last week, but the week before. It's a little bit up from the week before. So that was my water weight week too, so dang, which is kind of a bummer. Now, at first I would just say, you know, it's water weight. I ate those things or whatever. And so it caused this weird thing and it's going back down. So I should be safe. But guess what, guys? I actually did my measurements and I was up a half an inch on my waist and on my rib cage. Nowhere else was there any change. There was no shrinkage anywhere either. So I'm guessing it is possible that I put on a pound of body fat. Which, you know, I've been expecting with this reverse diet. I was not expecting it at 1860 average calories though, because that's still, in my opinion, lower than it should be to be able to make me gain weight. So that's kind of depressing. But whatever, it is what it is. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But if that's the case, then that means my maintenance level calories is about 1800-ish calories at this time. So now comes the hard part and also the fun part, where we try and convince the metabolism to burn more calories. So I'm not going to be raising my calories because I did gain on the scale and I do believe I gained some body fat. So I am not going to be raising them up for this coming week. Let's go over the calories though. And I'm going to tell you, like, if I screwed up, because like, if I had screwed up and it was up, then I would just be like, well, chalk it up to screwing up. But as you can see from the data, I did not screw up. So Saturday, so my goal was I'm still calorie cycling because I've been calorie cycling a lot through this reverse, and I just like having more calories on the weekend. Eventually, I'd like my daily calories to eke up to my weekend calories, but so far I haven't been able to get to that point. So Saturday's calories were 2055, Sundays were 2058, Monday 1786, Tuesday 1791, Wednesday 1789, Thursday 1787, Friday 1797, and an average for the whole week of 1866, which was a 28 calorie per day average raise. My goal had been 25, so I did exceed that a little bit. I found that whatever my goal is, I tend to just eke it up a little bit, like 3 to 5 calories more than what my goal is. It's just like this mental thing. Ooh, I just want a little bit more. Ooh, I just want a little bit more. It's the funniest thing. It's the funniest thing. So I'm just like, whatever. If you want a little bit more, have a little bit more. So 3 whole calories. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, body, whatever, brain, whatever, me, whatever, Tammy. So my average macronutrients for the week were, so if anyone's curious of like what my averages are, 169 protein, which was up 1 from last week. Go me. My goal is 170, so I get there and sometimes I exceed, and I'm just kind of hovering. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there little bit by little bit. I'd like to be at 170. My goal is to basically be eating as much protein as I weigh. So that's why 170 is my goal. You don't have to do that much protein. That's just what I choose to do. I don't recommend anyone, especially anyone of a reasonable size person, going below 100 grams of protein per day. During my weight loss, I was about 120. And now that I'm trying to maintain and build muscle and, you know, keep myself anabolic and have a lot of thermic effective food and have food filling my belly so that I feel like I'm getting plenty, so that my overeater doesn't come out to haunt me. I'm trying to keep that up to where my body currently weighs. So 170 is my goal. All right. Carbs for the week. Average carbs. These are net, not total. I don't really keep track of total. I probably should, but I don't. These are net carbs, and my total and my average net carbs for the week was 77. That was up 7 from last week. Okay, and my fats, I'm trying to keep them relatively low as well. I'm trying to keep my carbs and fats pretty balanced and below my protein number is my goal. You can see that it's more equal than I'd like it to be, but it is what it is. My fats for the week average were 87. So, and that was exactly the same as last week. So that was pretty good. So my goal for week 16 is exactly the same as my goal for week 15, an average of 1860. Again, I will be calorie cycling. So yesterday and today I did 2050 calories. Monday through Friday, I will be doing 1785. We will see what happens on the scale, and we will adjust accordingly next Saturday based on those results. I am coming into the water weight week again soon, so who knows what's going to happen? Frankly, who knows? I'm a little disappointed that I don't get to raise my calories. We are coming up on Christmas, and I was really hoping to not have to track on Christmas, but it's not looking like that is going to happen. I really wanted to be a 2,000 calorie daily in order to just let Christmas fall where it may, but I just don't know that I'm going to let myself do that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I'm literally going 1 week at a time, and I can't believe I'm this far into the reverse diet. I can't believe I have come to this place where I am now trying to convince my body to change its set point. I'm pretty happy at this weight. I'm pretty happy with how I look. I'm pretty happy with how I feel. I can do anything I want to do, and it's literally a dream come true. Sometimes I just pinch myself, and I'm like, Dave, I'm like, can you even believe this is me? Can you even believe I did it? I'm just so proud, and I don't want people to get me wrong. I was kind of ornery in the loose skin video because I knew people were going to criticize me, and I was kind of being on the defensive. Don't get me wrong. I am so proud of myself and where I've come, but not just the physical changes. Guys, the thing I'm the most proud of is my mental changes. So many things I have fixed and changed and worked on to the point where I just don't feel controlled by my food anymore. This is just a fun science experiment. It's not an OCD thing. It's not a control thing. I could let it go right now at this point and be happy where I'm at and just eat. I really think I could, but I just want to take the reverse diet thing really seriously this year. I don't know that I'll do that in the future or not, but this year, this is like my thing. And coming into the new year, I'm probably going to do a bit more of this still. And I just don't want you guys to think that I'm kind of gone crazy the other way. Like, I'm not overeating anymore, so now I'm hyper tracking. No, this is purely just data so that I can see if what I am doing is showing up in my body and on the scale. So far, it has been miraculous. I highly recommend a reverse diet to anybody out there, especially if you have damage to your metabolism. I did not have damage to my metabolism when I started this out. So I've had a pretty lucky reverse where I really haven't put on any weight until this point, and that has been really, really lucky. Most people don't have that experience with a reverse diet, and it is hard to get your mind mentally wrapped around that gaining weight is okay, right? And that it's necessary in order to heal the metabolism so that you can go on a cut again in the future and have an easier time of it and get further ahead. So I've been doing this for the past couple of years, ever since I got into Wonderland, actually. So probably about almost 2.5 years, I have been taking diet breaks and then cutting, and then taking diet breaks and then cutting. And I didn't even know that was a thing, guys. I hadn't even seen Colin DeWay's channel or BioLane or Jordan Syatt or freaking Greg Doucette or any of these guys out there that just make my life happy watching them. I hadn't seen any of their channels. I was literally doing it just out of what I felt like was the right thing to do. And guys, it was the right thing to do. Taking time off, putting on some weight, and then cutting it has been far more successful than trying to keep myself bargain basement calories constantly and messing up my metabolism. So if you guys are in that situation, I highly recommend taking some time off of dieting. Even if that just means you're not going to track anymore and you're just going to try and eat intuitively and just watch the scale and see what happens and don't let it get too out of control. You know, I gained 20 pounds last year while I was taking a diet break and lost all of that plus a bunch more. You guys saw in my loose skin video the difference. And that was after gaining 20 pounds on the scale and then cutting all of that really quick in 13 weeks. It works. It works, guys, and I highly recommend it. Anyway, this video's gone on too long. If you're still here, I know you're a stalwart fan of mine, and I appreciate you still being here. There were no little extra gifties this week. I think I birthdayed them out, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you again for sending me little gifts. It just really it just made me happy, and I love people thinking about me and reminding me that it's not all negativity on YouTube, that there are really people who do appreciate the work I'm putting in here and want to show me that in a nice little way. So thank you for doing that. And I just wanted to remind you all that all the ways you can support me and support the channel are in the About section below, as well as the Facebook group you can join for help on your weight loss journey. And if you don't have Facebook, you can email me for a free getting started guide for keto at ketochaos@gmail.com. All right, guys, I love you all so much, and we'll talk to you all again soon.